Coming up on Sports Paws, we've got you covered on all the summer news that we missed while we were away, including one Bobcat starring in the Olympics.
Guess who's back? Tell a friend. Fall sports are back in action. Let's see how they started their seasons.
Brittany, we're going to close out the show with our top 5 plays of the week. Sports Paws is starting
right now.
Welcome into Studio 125. We are so excited to be back at the Sports Paws desk. I'm Becky Calkins.
And I'm Brittany Brown-Lieben. To start things off, we have Seb Lopes in studio to recap the biggest summer storylines. Seb, take it away.
Thanks, guys. We're back. But let's look at some summer storylines. Like you said, the news didn't take a break over the summer, and the biggest story was undoubtedly former Quinnipiac rugby star Ilona Maher's contributions to the U.S. Rugby Sevens Olympic team, leading the Americans to a bronze medal in Paris. Maher played for Quinnipiac from 2015 to 2017 and won the National Player of the Year award in 2016. She scored 3 tries in Olympic play and played a key role in the Americans' dramatic win in the bronze medal match against Australia. The 2-time Olympian has become a social media sensation since the beginning of the Games, gaining over 3 million Instagram followers and appearing on everything from talk shows to Sports Illustrated. Meanwhile, on the ice, former Bobcat Charles Alexis Legault signed a 3-year entry-level deal with the Carolina Hurricanes back in May. The 20-year-old defenseman was drafted by the Canes in the 5th round last year and posted career highs in both goals and assists. He'll join former Bobcat goalie Yaniv Peretz in Raleigh and will look to make his NHL debut this season. Additionally, former women's ice hockey stars Shea Maloney and Logan Angers joined the pro ranks this offseason. Maloney spent her graduate season in Hamden after 4 years at Brown and was drafted by the PWHL Boston 34th overall in the league's draft. She scored 15 goals and 16 assists in her lone season as a Bobcat. Angers spent 6 seasons with the Bobcats. She was a semifinalist for the National Goalie of the Year award last season and picked up 6 shutouts. She signed a 1-year contract with PWHL Ottawa as an undrafted free agent. Quinnipiac now has 11 alumni playing in the PWHL, and it wasn't just hockey players going pro. On the court, former men's basketball star Matt Blanc signed a deal with Horsens ICA, pro basketball team in Denmark. Blanc spent 6 years at QU and finished his career in the number 3 spot on the school's all-time scoring list. He had a monster final season in Hamden. Blanc averaged over 17 points a game, won MAC Player of the Year, and led Quinnipiac to its first MAC regular season title. He becomes the 15th player in program history to sign a professional deal. Swinging over to the Diamond, former Quinnipiac baseball star Anthony Donofrio was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in this summer's MLB draft. Donofrio tore up the MAC in his 2 seasons in Hamden, hitting .355 with 23 homers in his Bobcat career. He transferred to UNC for his grad year and had another great season as the Tar Heels' everyday right fielder, hitting .326 with 53 RBIs. The Mariners were clearly impressed and took Donofrio with their 10th round pick. He made his pro debut this August with Seattle's single-A affiliate, the Modesto Nuts. And to round out the big headlines from the summer, the Quinnipiac men's hockey team will head to New York City on November 30th to take on Cornell at the Madison Square Garden for the Frozen Apple. Book your tickets. This will be Quinnipiac's 3rd time playing at the Garden and their first since 2016. Cornell's got some momentum going their way. They've won their last 4 games at the Apple and have a lot of experience, but the Bobcats are coming off another run in the NCAA tournament. The matchup between the 2 ECAC hockey rivals will count as a non-conference clash on both teams' schedules. That's a wrap for the summer storylines. It should be an electric environment, guys.
That's going to be a super fun game at MSG. Moving to the pitch, the women's soccer team has started their season on a rough note and look to bounce back on the road against Stonehill on Thursday. After a scoreless first 80 minutes, the scoring broke through in minute 82 for the Skyhawks. Martha Lord rifled a shot past Sofia Lospinoso at the top right of the net, put Stonehill on top 1-0. That would be all for the scoring in this one, as Stonehill went on to win 1-0 for its first non-conference win as a Division I program. Despite not getting on the scoreboard, the Bobcats outshot Stonehill 18-3, even putting 7 more shots on goal than the Skyhawks.
After these 2 losses, the Bobcats were looking to get a W in the win column against Albany on Sunday. Quinnipiac facing off against the U Albany Great Danes after suffering a heartbreaking 1-0 loss against Stonehill on Thursday. This is the second home game of the season, taking on Hofstra, tying that game. Let's move to the first half as we see Madison Alves drop a dime to Caroline Matizak. She's going to drive in the box, lays it off for Courtney Chokol, and she will get her first goal of the season. We spoke to Chokol after the game about what she saw scoring that goal.
I didn't know if anyone else was in the box, so I had to go to the front post, so I was hoping that she would see that, and she did, so it was a really good ball, and then it just went back post, and as I was falling, I was like, please, go in, and it did.
Let's move to the second half. At the 56-minute line, Tally Lyon takes a shot from outside the box. The save is made by Emily Dorfman. She makes the initial save, but the ball bounces to the foot of Morgan Cupo, and she finds the net for the first goal of the season. In the final 10 minutes of the game, Melania Bronco takes a long touch and puts what looks like a cross. Next thing we know, it's in the back of the net. Bronco gets her first goal of the season as well, icing this one. Bobcats get their first win of the season over the Great Danes, 3-0. Quinnipiac's first conference game will be the Saturday against Sacred Heart at noon. Women's soccer beat reporter Brandon Murdoch has more on the Bobcats' first win of the year.
On Sunday afternoon, the back-to-back MAC champion Quinnipiac Bobcats secured their first win of the season in a 3-0 victory over the U Albany Great Danes. Following the last game for the Bobcats, in which case they lost 1-0 to Stonehill after outshooting the Skyhawks 18-1, the team certainly recognized the importance of finishing their opportunities.
As a team, that's what we set out to do. We wanted to go out there and win, get our first win this season. I think it was a long time coming, especially after the last game. Knowing what we went through last game and knowing that we didn't want to feel like that again. So I feel like we came with a new mentality this game of just going 100%, and I feel like we did that today.
Over the last 2 seasons, head coach Dave Clark has stacked up his non-conference schedule in an attempt to get his team more prepared for the NCAA tournament and the MAC conference. With MAC play opening up on Saturday against Sacred Heart, Clark hopes that this is the case.
Overall, yes. And then you look back into the spring. You know, we played Rhode Island, dominated that game. Rhode Island just beat Brown. Played Central, beat them 5-0. They won the NEC last year. Beat Yale 4-1 in the spring. So all of a sudden in 3-4 games, you're looking at teams that are gone, the expectation and the carryover to the fall.
The last time the Bobcats had lost a MAC game was in 2022, and they will to continue that streak on Saturday. I'm Brandon Murdoch for Q30 Sports.
There was more soccer action in Hamden during the weekend as the men's soccer team took on the Columbia Lions Saturday in their first home game of the season. The Bobcats would be searching for their first win of the year as they dropped their first 2 games against both Providence and the University of Rhode Island. The Bobcats did not score a goal in either one of those games. But let's jump right into this one. We're going to go into early in the first half. It's going to be a beautiful through ball here, played down the left wing by Columbia, but that's going to go just wide as Carmen Falco has the errant strike, and the game is going to stay tied 0-0. Now it's Alex Miller that's going to find Drew Seguro here approaching the box, and Seguro puts the finishing touches on that one. Seguro, first goal of the season for the Bobcats as they lead it 1-0. Check out the celebration. Perfect ball from number 11 right there, Alex Miller. Now 4 minutes later at the 31-minute mark, the ball gets worked around the back, and Philip Kangman's going to put some moves on it as he receives this one from Luke Scheinbeck, and Kangman puts that one in the back of the net as well. Top left strike from Philip Kangman. We're going to see that one again later. Bobcats lead it 2-0 as we enter halftime. Going into the second half, it's Benjamin Tella. He's going to get the ball, and he's going to play a little ping pong with this one, sending it into Luke Scheinbeck, but that's going to go just wide as the game is going to stay tied 2-0 here. Later on in the second half, it's going to be Columbia putting the pressure on, but look at the quick hands by the Bobcats keeper Carl Netzel as he keeps it scoreless, and that would be the end of this one. The Bobcats get their first win of the season in their first home game of the season, 2-0. Bobcats keeper Carl Netzel celebrating there his first clean sheet of the year after having 2 last season as Seguro and Kangman net the goals. Netzel has 4 saves as Quinnipiac defeats Columbia 2.
After the win for the men's soccer team, beat reporter Zach Naffa chronicled the development of the Bobcats midfielder Drew Seguro over the years.
After starting the season off with 2 scoreless contests, the Bobcats finally got on the board early in this one, with Drew Seguro depositing a goal in that very corner. And after that, it was all Bobcats. Seguro kicked off the scoring for Quinnipiac midway through the first half in their 2-0 win over Columbia. The goal was Seguro's first since the 2022 season, and while the senior midfielder is glad to be back on the score sheet, it's the result that he cares about more.
Obviously really happy to score the goal, but even more happy with the win. We had 2 rough games, a bit unlucky in the result, but now it was great to come out, score a goal, and get the win.
Seguro is one of 11 players left over from the 2022 MAC Championship squad, and he has embraced the leadership role that comes with being a veteran.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that, becoming more of a leader for some of the younger guys and some of the guys that, haven't experienced, the playoffs. So hopefully we can build up, get into the playoffs, and just take it game by game.
Seguro's coaches and teammates also recognize the positive impact he has on their squad and how he sets an example for others around him.
He's a great guy. He's always supporting the guys. Obviously, he's a Connecticut guy, so he's been in and around, knows the area well. He's good with all the boys, telling them, giving them some advice, whether it be with school, whether it be with soccer. But yeah, overall, he's a great guy, good teammate. He's always competing, and he's going to help the team a lot this year.
Really happy for him just to see his growth, and those are the kind of kids that you want to see have success. They're the ones that just put the work in and put their head down and keep trying to get better. And we're just lucky to have a lot of those guys, and Drew's the beneficiary of it today.
With the MAC welcoming 2 new members into the conference this season, the path to a championship becomes even harder. Even so, Seguro and the Bobcats are looking forward to more competition, as they're not going to back down from anyone.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we have both of them on our schedule this year. It's just more teams to play, good teams to play, and we're not afraid of any competition. We're coming for everyone this year.
Seguro and the Bobcats will look to keep up the momentum and the scoring when they host St. Bonaventure next Saturday, September 7th. For Q30 Sports, I'm Zach Naffa.
We're going to take a quick break here on Paws, but when we come back, we'll dive into the start of the Bobcats field hockey season and their home opener against the LIU Sharks. Beckett, that was an exciting game right there.
And we're going to check out the rugby team's season opener against Brown and see what rugby beat reporters Zach Stokinger and Spencer Decker had to say about the team. Don't go anywhere. Sports Paws will be back in a jiffy.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. Reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Let's get ready for some volleyball. The team opened their season at the North Florida Invitational. The Bobcats' first game was Friday against the University of Rhode Island and won in 5 sets. Ginevra Givagnoni led the team with 20 kills and 15 digs for a double-double. Graduate transfer Elena Giacomoni added 20 kills. Then they suited up to take on Mercier later that same evening. The Bobcats took on Mercer University and lost in 4 sets. Giacomoni led the team with 12 kills. Leonie Kaijusta added 10 kills in the match. Chloe Kahanuti registered 33 assists on Saturday. Quinnipiac ended the Invitational with a 3-set loss to the University of North Florida. Giovanni recorded another double-double with 11 digs and 10 kills. Dama Ganesh added 21 assists. Giacomoni received all tournament honors after this weekend, having 43 kills, 24 digs, and 4 blocks in all 3 matches. The Bobcats are 1-2 in non-conference play and have their next match on September 3rd against the LIU Sharks.
The Big East Conference released its 2024 preseason poll for field hockey. The Bobcats slotted in at the number 7 spot with Liberty, Old Dominion, and UConn as the poll's top 3 vote-getters, alongside Temple, tied for the 3rd spot. Villanova and Providence were picked just ahead of Quinnipiac, with Georgetown rounding out the rankings at number 8. The Bobcats also had one player representing them on the preseason All-Big East team. Senior forward Lucia Pompeo made the squad after having back-to-back 16-point seasons.
Speaking of the field hockey team, they hosted LIU in their home opener on Friday. The Quinnipiac Bobcats opened their season against the LIU Sharks. The Sharks had an early lead in the first half, making it 1-0. Let's move straight to the 3rd quarter. Jasmine Roloffson passes a long ball into the crease, and Gigi Renato gets it right past Christina Torres, making the lead 2-0. All right, let's now head over to this 4th quarter. The Bobcats are going to be given a penalty corner where we see Cam Brower is going to pass it in. Katie Shanahan rips a shot, but it's saved by defenseman Flora Hoffman, and Brower is able to get the rebound, getting the Bobcats another penalty corner. Brower still on the insert, but this time we have a change of play and passes the ball to Francisca Eschoyes, scoring her first collegiate goal in Hamden as the Bobcats. Now the Bobcats are only down 1. With 5 minutes left in the game, the Bobcats are in another scoring position. This time we see Brower on the insert again, and we're going to pass it back to Eschoyes, but Hoffman is able to make this huge save right here off the shoulder pad. The offensive action from the Bobcats is all just a little too late, as LIU is going to take this one 2-0. Quinnipiac will be shipping off to Boston to take on Northeastern on Sunday. After the loss to LIU, field hockey beat reporter Patrick Walsh has a story on how the team is looking to improve by fixing their mistakes.
The Quinnipiac field hockey team lost its season opening game by a score of 2-1 to the LIU Sharks here today at the Quinnipiac Field Hockey Stadium. Coach Nina Klein spoke candidly about what improvements need to be made going forward.
Something we talked about a lot in preseason and what we want to kind of look to for the next game is front marking. So there was our second goal that we conceded. We were just kind of behind the defender, and that's just not a staple of the defense that we want to run. So I think just kind of cleaning up that defensive, side of the game as we go into Northeastern. I'm not worried about us scoring goals this year, but I really just want to clean up our defense as we move into Sunday.
She also spoke about what she liked in the performance today.
I think it's a day where we're going to kind of look at some film and really kind of fix up the defensive side of our game. I thought overall we had a really, strong counterattack, and there were some really exciting things, especially in that 4th quarter. We were knocking on the door of LIU, but we couldn't put one in there in the last couple, minutes. But overall, I think we really just want to sharpen up our defense this season and get to a point where we're confident with what's happening under the 50. But overall, really proud of the team performance and the intensity and energy that they brought today.
Coach Klein also talked about how she prepared the freshmen over the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, preseason was a lot of just integration. I think, we spend the first couple of days really just getting everyone up to speed with like vocabulary and how we talk about the game and kind of developing, the hockey IQ in the first couple of days, and then really, speed and intensity work and in terms of what we're doing, to prepare them for the field is, just quick practices in and out and making sure that they're in a position that when we play against a quick team like LIU that we're a little bit, prepared for that speed that you see, day in and day out. But yeah, that's a little bit about, preparation that we've done in the preseason, and now it's real, and we just want to clean up the defensive side of things.
The Bobcats will look to bounce back against Northeastern on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
After dropping their first game of the season, the field hockey team made the trip to Massachusetts to take on Northeastern University. After scoring the first 2 goals of the game thanks to Francisca Escoyes and Cameron Brower, the Bobcats surrendered a goal to Lauren Rowe before the halftime break. After leading 2-1, the Bobcats struggled in the third quarter, allowing goals to Emmy Stubbs and Alex Mega to put the Huskies in front 3-2. Neither team would find the back of the net in the fourth, and 3-2 would remain the final score in favor of Northeast.
Heading to the green grass on the other side of the fence, the rugby team started their season against the Brown Bears. After a back-and-forth matchup, both teams ended up scoring 17 points, resulting in a tie to start both of their team seasons. Kelsey Thomas scored the first try for the Bobcats 28 minutes into the first half. Kat Story scored in the 39th minute, giving them a 12-0 lead. Ava O'Malley scored her first try as a Bobcat in the 59th minute, tying the game. The team's next game is away against the Harvard Crimson on September 7th.
Now, here are Rugby Beat reporters Spencer Decker and Zach Stokinger to recap the team's win against Brown and preview the rest of the season.
The Quinnipiac women's rugby team started their season last night in Providence as they took on the Brown Bears. The Bobcats ended up drawing the Bears 17-0, and the Bobcats have started 0-1 this season. I'm women's rugby beat reporter Zach Stokinger, and alongside me is fellow beat reporter Spencer Decker. Spencer, what was your general overall first impression?
Yeah, I think it was a solid game from the Bobcats. They had some ups and downs, but things could have been better. Things could have been a lot worse, though. Brown's a solid team out of the Ivy League. They have some very good talent out there, but the Bobcats had a good lead in this game. They were up 12-0, and then Brown got a try near halftime, and it made it 12-5. But they eventually lost that lead going into the second half, and were down 17-12 at one point. They were able to regain their ground and tie it at 17 in the 60th minute, but after that, not much to say for the Bobcats. A slow offensive game, and they kind of blew it in the second half. They had their lead, as I spoke of, that 12-0 lead, and then things kind of just went downhill from that. So I think maintaining their second half strength will be something to look out for next game.
And speaking of a struggling offense, who do you think will emerge as an X factor for this team going on throughout the season?
Yeah, somebody that came back on this Bobcats roster is Kat Story, one of the elite players on this team. Very elusive, very athletic. Just a fast player that when she gets out to the edges of the field, she is just so fast that she could just get right past defenders, and that's what is great about her ability. She actually picked up a try, had a nice assist on a try in the game as well. So she's just an impact player that the Bobcats love to have on their squad, and she actually contributed to that Brown game, and she's going to continue to contribute to the rest of the games they have. Going along.
Yeah, having such veteran leadership, especially on this team, is huge for this team. And Spencer, looking ahead, how do you think this Bobcats team will do this year? I mean, they've had great success. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, national champions just almost a decade ago. Do you think we could see another national championship this year?
It's possible. This team is really good. And I mean, it's kind of just the narrative. The team is always really good. You talked about the national championships right behind us. They're just always a really good rugby team. And they have a great coach in Coach Becky Carlson. They do a lot of great things. Now, it's a rough stretch. They have 3. They go on the road and play 3. And then they come back here and play 3 at home. Their first home game is not until September 29th against Penn State. So I think that'll be rough to have to go on the road and play multiple back-to-back on the road and then have to come back home. That'll be tough. But once they get back home, if they could continue to do well on the road, I think it'll be a good momentum going into these home games for the Bobcats.
Thank you, Spencer. Well, that's all the time we have here on the Quinnipiac rugby field. Back to you guys in the studio.
We've got to take our final break of the night, but when we come back, we have the story of a Quinnipiac grad who's currently competing in the Paralympics. How exciting is that, Brittany?
So exciting, Beckett. But you know what else is exciting? The very first top 5 plays of the semester. You won't want to miss it. Sports Paws will be right back.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I spend with them, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. And the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we are allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
Welcome back. The women's cross-country team started their season with a victory at the Stony Brook Invitational. This is the second consecutive year the Bobcats started their season with the win at Long Island. The Bobcats placed 5 runners in top 7. Quinnipiac scored 25 points, beating the Seawolves by 18. Laura Selkin led Quinnipiac with a time of 14 minutes and a little over 10 seconds, coming in 3rd place. Rachel St. Germain and Corinne Barney finished the top 5, finishing at 14 minutes. Sierra Gray and Alessandra Zafina also placed for the Bobcats. Their next meet is the Jasper Fall Cross Country Invite on September 4th.
Jumping over to the hardwood for some major news out of Lender Court. Quinnipiac men's basketball director of player development Aaron Robinson announced on X that he will be leaving Quinnipiac for a position with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Robinson rejoined Quinnipiac for 1 season after taking a position with the LA Clippers front office. Robinson also played for Quinnipiac from 2015 to 2019, appearing in 66 games across 3 seasons with the Bobcats.
Acrobatics and Tumbling has announced 2 new assistant coaches. Former acro and tumbling alumni Chloe White and Tiffany Ziba will be on the 2024-25 coaching staff. Both White and Ziba graduated in 2024. White won an individual title in 2023, having a role in the inversion pyramid. Ziba is also a 2-time individual national champion in the quad tumbling pass, winning the title in 2022 and 2023. Head coach Marianne Powers said, quote, "Their impact will be fueled by dedication, passion, and commitment to growing every individual player on our roster," end quote.
Well, Brittany, now, despite the Olympics being over, there's another Bobcat hunting for a medal in Paris.
That's right. Quinnipiac alumni Victoria Isaacson will be representing Team USA in wheelchair fencing at the Paralympic Games. Isaacson graduated from Quinnipiac's occupational therapy program in 2023 and has been fencing internationally since 2018.
And she's been really, really good too, Brittany. She's taken gold 3 times at the Para Fencing North American Cup and is a 2-time national champion. This will be Isaacson's first Paralympic Games, but she has her first bout on September 4th in the women's foil category against Italy. Now, Brittany, I think you know what time it is.
Oh, believe me, I do. First top 5 places of the semester. Let's get it going.
Let's see it. Play number 5, it's men's soccer. We already saw this one today. Drew Seguro gets a beautiful ball there from Alex Miller and puts that one in the back of the net. That's the Bobcats' first goal of the season. They won that game.
Let's go to play number 4. We switch from men's to women's as midfielder Caroline Matizak gets the ball up the wing. She looks for someone in the slot, gets it to Courtney Chokol, and she taps the ball on the goal. Bobcats went on to beat UAlbany 3-0.
Top 5 down to top 3. It's field hockey as the Bobcats have a penalty corner, and Francisca Escoyas loads up, firing that one past the goalie. Bobcats drop that game to LIU.
Time for number 2. Back to women's soccer. Tally Lyon fires the ball on net, blocked by the keeper, and Morgan Kupo is there to tap that with a rebound in.
5-4, 3-2. How about one? Now finally the first number 1 of the year. It's Philip Kangman netting that one in the top left of the goal. The Bobcats won it, and Kangman with a beautiful strike there. That's going to do it, though, for Top 5, and that'll do it for the season debut of Sports Paws. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you to the producers and everyone working hard behind the scenes to make this show possible.
Be sure to visit Q30TV.com and stay up to date on all things Quinnipiac sports. Also follow us on Instagram and X at Q30 Television and Q30 Sports. I'm Brittany Brown-Lieben. He's Beckett Calkins. Fare thee well and have a good night, Bobcats.